I've made videos on the Atlanta Hawks, the Houston Rockets, and the San Antonio Spurs this offseason, as all three of those teams made such monumental moves this offseason towards competing right now and in the future. They needed to be talked about as one of the great teams in the NBA, since those teams are destined to compete moving forward. One team we haven't discussed yet, though, is none other than the team that is probably in the most primed position to win the 2026 Western Conference after making a long overdue trade and some under-the-radar yet major signings. This team, of course, is led by the arguable best player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic, the Denver Nuggets. Denver took the NBA champs to 7 games this past season, and if it weren't for an Aaron Gordon injury, who knows, maybe, just maybe, Denver would have made the conference finals, got redemption on Minnesota, and faced off against Indiana in the NBA finals. We don't know. Obviously, that is a bunch of what-ifs about last postseason. However, the biggest what-ifs about the team that we had as fans were, what if Denver traded MPJ at the deadline? What if they had more depth? What if? Denver was clearly a big what-if team last season, despite them being one of the best teams in the entire NBA. A team so inconsistent, yet so feared due to many factors, is now primed for success in 2026, as they corrected just about everything, leaving no what-ifs for the 2026 season. What exactly is so different about Denver? Well, they got rid of MPJ, if you didn't know. A player who can shoot the ball, lights out at that. Outside of shooting the ball, though, can't defend, can't pass, literally has a broken A button, gets lost on defense, doesn't really shine without the ball. He's just a horrible player to be starting and playing heavy minutes to when the goal is to win a championship. Look at what happened when they won the title. Mike Malone ended up benching him down the stretch of games. That was the most consistent thing about MPJ, him getting benched in crunch time. Then even last year, with a different coach, the same thing happened in the postseason. His playstyle made him unplayable in the big moments, and it eventually cost him a spot on a contender. Now he finds himself in Brooklyn, which he for one is probably happy about, but the trade return Denver got for him created so much optimism for the team. In exchange for MPJ, Denver would acquire sharpshooting wing Cameron Johnson from the Nets. The thing is, Cam Johnson is much more than a sharpshooter. He can complement anybody due to his shooting, off-ball movement, high IQ of play, strong defensive skill set, and all the intangibles you want in a player. Cam Johnson is such a massive upgrade from MPJ that you cannot justify an argument about it. Anything MPJ could do offensively, Cam Johnson can do as well, at a higher and smarter level. The best part of the deal came from the business side of things, as Cam Johnson makes $17 million less than MPJ, yet is a better player. This allowed for the next set of plans to be set in motion for Denver, as $17 million came off the books before free agency, allowing the squad to load up on talent this offseason. 3 more massive additions followed the Cam Johnson one. Another trade, this time for Jonas Valanciunas, a center who was a massive upgrade for the backup 5 spot. They signed Tim Hardaway Jr., a sharpshooting veteran who has no problem lighting it up from 3 and just putting numbers up off the bench. And the prodigal son, Bruce Brown, the Denver Nuggets' favorite 6th man of all time, has now officially returned to winning basketball. Denver literally went from having one of the worst benches in the NBA to now having one of the strongest after this offseason, all because of an amazing trade they made with Brooklyn. Now having upgraded everywhere, Denver is ready to compete for a title, but they already were ready for that. The team was connected as constructed with their championship core, and having as many selfless players as they do, it made the chemistry strong enough for them to compete with teams that were better than them. Many woes throughout the 2025 season made Denver the underdogs in many eyes, as they matched up with the Clippers and the Thunder in the playoffs. Due to the sheer dominance of Nikola Jokic, Denver was able to send the series against the champs to 7 games, as despite Holmgren and Hartenstein, there was no answer for Jokic. He was enough to push the Nuggets past the Clippers, who were one of the best defensive teams we have ever seen. They had a healthy Kawhi who was dominant as well too. Everything stacked against Denver in both matchups, but the one thing that they had that was better was Jokic. Jokic was enough to dominate the league and win games for the Nuggets. With the exception of a few games, Jokic was consistently dominating night in and night out. With basketball being a team sport, Jokic really didn't have that much assistance, and whenever he didn't get any, which was very common, the team still lost games. But he is good enough to win games on his own, as we've continuously seen. The games the Nuggets dominated and won, though, all had one theme in common. Just one player stepping up to be his co-star for a game. Jamal Murray has been his most consistent running mate over the years in the playoffs, as we all know. Playoff Murray has been different, but times have changed, and playoff Murray is a game-to-game basis, as he does not always show up in the playoffs now. Despite that, when Murray has it going, he does not fail to disappoint, and he can still go off. The battle he's been facing is simply just health. Regardless of how he is playing, game plans are still set on keeping him down, as he is a very difficult matchup and player to stop. All in all, Jamal Murray may not be a top 10 point guard he was a few years ago, but he is still a bucket and feared across the league, especially in the playoffs. Christian Braun showed out this season in his first year in the starting lineup as KCP departed last offseason. Braun was crucial in many games, and his ability to shine in transition and play off the ball alongside Jokic is why he himself was shining in the playoffs. I mean, I'm not even dragging it when I'm saying he was the best player some games in the playoffs for Denver, and he's still so young that it's scary. Christian Braun is going to be an elite role player, and he's showing signs of it. He's good enough to start on a championship level team, and he just proved that, and he's going to continue proving that. But the most important player to talk about from last season's team is in fact Aaron Gordon, after he put on a show in the 2025 playoffs. He emerged as a co-star in 2025, which was weird. But honestly, with his two-way ability, it makes sense considering how co-stars have looked for championship caliber teams over the past few seasons. Scoring, shooting, rebounding, playmaking, complementing, movement, and defending. All things Gordon is great at, and is a big part of why he is a complete and elite player. As I said earlier, Gordon got hurt before Game 7 against OKC, and that was a big reason as to the demise of the Nuggets. I know they got killed in Game 7, but saying that Gordon wouldn't have made a big difference is undervaluing his importance to the team. Bench players are still growing, such as Julian Strawther, who had a really good showing in limited minutes, Peyton Watson, still an elite defender, and now the bench just got bolstered and the starting lineup is even stronger than it was. Evaluating the 2025 Denver Nuggets and now seeing the additions they've made along with major subtractions, the 2026 Denver Nuggets are going to be an improved team from a team that very well could have won a title in 2025. You look at the dominance of Jokic, the starting lineup around him with Jamal Murray, Christian Braun, Cam Johnson, and Aaron Gordon, and you can just tell they will move like a machine on both ends of the floor. Perfect combination of offense, defense, and a great balance overall. Compare them to other teams in the West, even the NBA. I mean, I think Denver is better than Houston, Minnesota, both LA teams, and everyone in the West essentially. The only team in the West that I believe Denver will have difficulties with, or even is the only team that Denver is worse than in the West, is OKC, who they were able to handle well last postseason, and they were a worse team than they are now. Think about it. Denver has the hardest player to guard in the NBA right now. Honestly, the best player in the world in Jokic. Now the team constructed around him just got infinitely better and much more difficult to stop. It's a game changer for the landscape of the NBA. The Nuggets are coming. The only questions are health and their new unproven coach. Outside of that, I have no questions about Denver, and right now, they're my pick to win the NBA title before the season starts. After highlighting it all, my favorite to win the 2026 NBA championship is the Denver Nuggets, and I believe they will win it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I just ranked the top 25 NBA players of the 2025 season, so if you want to watch that video, click on the video on the screen. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all stay safe, have a good one, bye.